It's like being on a flight. You can take baggage with you, but realize the more baggage you take, the more it's gonna cost.
You better preach, brother. You sure preaching ain't it for you.
I've been thinking a lot about everything we've been dreaming. Will we ever make it out of this season? Where we seem like we're defeated and we taking beatings and life keeps repeating. So I get on my knees to pray and ask the Lord why. Would you give us all these gifts and then hang them out to dry? I would think that you would only want the best for us, but everything is at its worst and we can't take no more. Let's do this. It's time to start making excuses. Let's suck it up and go make it happen.
Welcome to another episode of Due Season. My name is Daryl Lewis.
And I'm Amber Brenton.
And we are excited that you guys are still listening. This is episode 2. We're back. So, as you all may or may not have heard, Brenton alluded to something that we did recently.
Told our business, man.
So, I mean, at this point, it's not much of a secret.
Yeah.
The people who need to know.
Yeah, most of the people there.
But we'll share it with you guys because I think it can be very empowering, inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of touched on the last episode, our previous careers. Amber worked as an officer and as a teacher, and I was a pharmacist.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, what happened?
We quit our job. You know, I've been waiting to say that. You wouldn't even let me get it out. We quit. I don't care what you talking about. We quit, man.
Yo, it has been crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Because now that we're recording this, it's probably been 2.5 months.
Yeah, about 2.5 months. It don't even feel like it.
I
feel like we've been ripping
yesterday.
and running.
It feel like 2 weeks ago.
It do.
And that it was a crazy process, right? Because as Amber mentioned in the last episode, when you find your passion
Mm-hmm.
and you find your purpose, work feels like walking on like charcoal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was at work and I was getting to the point where like I literally felt like I was losing my mind.
I did too.
Like I could barely focus. And let me say this. I was good at what I did. You know, God gifted me to be a pharmacist for that season.
Mm-hmm.
And so I enjoyed it. And I loved doing it to an extent, but I knew that wasn't my purpose. And so I think when you realize what your purpose is, it's not a bash on the career path.
Right. That's what
You know, like I don't think there's nothing wrong with being a pharmacist. You know, I don't know how you feel about yours.
I mean, that's something that I thought I was doing. You love kids and stuff, but once you find your purpose, though, like you said, that teacher still go out like the wind. It's like shouts out to all the teachers. Like I commend every teacher. I've been in that field, but when you find something you love, work feel like teaching is a good job. You get good days off. I still felt like I was working at a warehouse and standing on my feet for 12 hours. Like, you know how that feels. I felt like every day I wanted to walk out, but I couldn't because it wasn't my time. But work feel, like you said, walking on charcoal that's already lit. Like, I lit the grill, put it on the ground, put my feet on it, and you heard that's that's what it feel like.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Those career paths that we left, those are some people's purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So teaching, there are people who are gifted to teach. There are people who are gifted to be pharmacists.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to the point where we realized it wasn't serving us or the people. And you know what I'm saying? You don't want a teacher teaching your kid
that don't want to be there. And that's one thing, like, yeah, that's if they don't want to be there, your kid, you really messing with those kids' lives. So like,
yeah. And that's the same thing. You don't want nobody, you know, getting your medicine together if they don't really want to be there.
If they don't want to be there.
You know, and so we did the adult thing for a long time. You know, we spent years doing the right thing and doing what was responsible. But I think God gifted us to come to a place where we can make a decision.
Yeah, and it don't happen when you think it's gonna happen either. Like I had plans this year. I had plans to quit this summer before I went back. I didn't even supposed to come back. I said this summer I'm not going back to work. I'm not. Guess what? It wasn't my time. I had to go back. Like it. I know much as you think like I could just do it on my own. I'm just gonna quit. I don't care. I don't like this job no more. I let them know you can't.
And I was hating on her because she got summers off. Thanksgiving break, fall break, Christmas break, spring break, break. I said, do you got a job?
Every break, Martin Luther King break, the baseball team won, the Braves won, we was out of school again.
I said, God, you don't even really got no job. Do you need to quit?
And I still didn't like it.
You still didn't like it. And it's because it wasn't about how hard the job. Sometimes it's not about how hard your job is.
It's about, is it that's something you're supposed to be doing?
Right. And so it's put us in a crazy dilemma, right? Because most people, unfortunately, don't like their job, right? And so I want to make it clear, we're not encouraging people to quit their job.
No, we definitely don't do that. Like that's why it's hard to tell people that we quit, because we don't want nobody to think, oh, because you quit, I'm just going to jump. It's not that easy. We've been trying to quit for years. You know how many times I wanted to walk out of the sheriff's office and say, bump y'all about it. It wasn't my time, though. Because when it's your time, it's easy. It's not going to be like, I'm about to quit. It'll come over. So it's almost like you'll be forced out the door.
Yeah. It's going to happen. And you can't do it out of season. You know what I'm saying? And we waited, like she said, I knew, and this is unfortunate, I knew in pharmacy school that I wasn't going to be a pharmacist.
You sure did.
Like my classmates used to laugh. Like I used to do crazy stuff. I was a national president of an organization. If I could do something to get out of class,
you would do it.
I was doing it. I was traveling the country speaking.
You will do it.
I was just like, yo, I don't think this is what I'm supposed to do. And, you know, unfortunately, I had got so much loan money that I had to finish. I had to start. I couldn't just quit.
You just could, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a process where I knew for years. I knew
you wasn't.
That wasn't my purpose, but I knew that there was a season, right? And so for me, after leaving pharmacy school, God blessed me to have not even one wedding, but 2 weddings. I bought a house. We bought cars. You know, like I've paid back a lot of my student loan debt. And so there was a season for it. And so as you're trying to figure out, should I make that kind of transition, ask yourself, are you in a place to where you can logically make that transition? Because we had to plan a long time.
We really did. We've been planning this out forever, but it didn't happen yesterday, trust me.
Yeah. And so sometimes people will see the vision and say, well, you know what? I realize what God called me to do, so I need to move. And sometimes it's not always that simple. And so I knew I wanted to do photography. I knew I wanted to do videography. Brent knew she wanted to do comedy, but we still spent an extra 3 years figuring it out.
Trying to figure it out,
you know. And so when you, especially for those of you who've been consistent, you've been diligent, you've been working, you may have bought homes, you may have children. You do have to be considerate of the lifestyle you can live.
Because, like, you got to think, when we did it, we had so much responsibility, so we couldn't be like, I'm just going to quit tomorrow. We got, like you said, we got houses, we bought cars, with student loans. Like, you just can't up and do it like somebody that doesn't, you know, maybe somebody that's younger than us. I don't know, but I just knew I couldn't quit like how I thought I should or wanted to.
Yeah,
because like that.
If we just had any choice, it would have been like, all right, I ain't come back to work.
Yeah, I would have just
3 years ago.
I would have bought a piano and just sat outside and played and hope people put money in my cup.
Yeah.
if it was up to me, like not. But I thought about it and I got you to encourage me. You better not quit. If you quit, okay.
Yeah, and that's crazy because the 3 years that we didn't quit, in my opinion, are the only reason we made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in the comedy. With the comedy scene, you being a teacher was a crazy boost for us.
It really was.
Like, we was doing it. We started out open mics, trying to get on stage.
I remember sitting outside in the cold. Like, it's a place in Atlanta called Cat's Cafe. And if y'all like comedy, go there and watch it. Because the lineup is crazy there. Like, everybody's funny. Like, it is up-and-coming comedians, but they're on their way. So I remember I used to sit outside in the cold. I would get in the car and call Cool. He still didn't let me up. I ain't never getting up. But like that one time that I went out there and he let me up and I went up there and I killed it. And I was getting up ever since. So it may not happen tomorrow. Like, your dream may not happen the next day. But if you be consistent and you don't give up, your time gonna come.
It's gonna come, and that's really what happened. So we told you guys about the first show we did, right? In the garage. Literally, we called it the House of Comedy.
Yeah, we did. They thought they was going to a building.
Everybody, we just gave the address, House of Comedy. It was her garage. We sold the show out, and we realized quickly that open mic was tough in Atlanta. The open mic scene was crazy. Like, getting on stage, you would think you doing work for free. It's easy. It was so tough, so we was like, are we going to quit? Or are we just going to put on our own shows?
And we put on our own show for a whole year, probably.
Yeah.
Or
so
2, maybe.
We was throwing our own shows. We were finding local comedians. We had friends who was trying to put on. We've been trying to put a lot of people on.
We actually were putting people on that was in the same situation to me. Like, I can't get on open mic. Hey, come with me. I can't either.
Let's start our own show.
Let's start our own show. And it was called True Story, too.
True Story, man. It was crazy.
It was a movement. Like, people know when we dropped that link, oh, it about to be lit. Because we would let people that can sing come up.
People was dancing.
We
had poetry.
Anything you can name. You want your dream? Come. We was just like,
you couldn't play the organ at church. We'll let you play it before the show.
You can be over there right now. And people would literally get up. If you a gospel singer, they'll be in there like,
get shackles off my feet so I can dance.
Like, whatever. We let preachers come in. You want to do your trial sermon?
Man, we had a youth pastor hosting.
Oh, yeah. We had a youth pastor. We would do it whatever it takes. A youth pastor hosting a comedy show.
And that was the season. That was the season we were in. Like, we couldn't get those opportunities. And so we had to keep creating. We had to keep being consistent. And it was a blast. Right?
We had fun.
But the season changed. She got on stage. And I remember when she first went to Laughing Skulls, they were selling a video for $20. And I said, bro, we throwing our own shows. I'm coming all the way to Atlanta to make this video. Bro, you could go there and 10 minutes later.
I was signing up. He was like, sign up every week, and I want you to buy every video so we can pitch it to anybody that want to see. I bought every single video. I went to Laughing Skull for open mic. And you know what's crazy? I was on open mic. Nobody knew me. Years later, they call me on the weekend shows.
They called you today. You out here, she hosting the show.
I'm hosting on December the 23rd.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, bro, consistency. I always tell her consistency is the cheat code. So if you're wondering what is it gonna take for me to get to my next level, what is it gonna take for me to make my dream come true, it starts with consistency.
I'm telling y'all, when I say I'm telling you this because I know, like, I could have gave up that first video that I posted on my page because, of course, we are content creators. I could have gave up. I only got 3. I started an Insta from zero. I only got 3 likes. No. He told me keep posting. He said I don't care if nobody watch it, because once somebody see one video that hits, they're gonna go back and watch every video. And I kind of didn't believe him, but when it started happening, I was like, I have to call him all the time when I make a dumb mistake, because he'll let me. He'll let me make a mistake because he want me to see, and then I gotta call him and say, I'm so sorry, you was right.
Yeah. And sometimes, bro, it's all about seasons. Because I remember I told you 2 years before you did it to get on Facebook.
And what happened?
She ain't do it, y'all. For 2 years, she ain't get on Facebook. She got on Facebook November 2021.
Last year, 2020.
It's barely been a year, y'all. We had over 50,000.
57,000 followers today. 57,000 followers today. And TikTok is what? 150,000.
Crazy. And it's just like, you know, even though we could have did it earlier, there was a season for it. We've been graced in this season to see the growth. And so it's been crazy, y'all. So you just got to be able to make sure you're consistent. You're always working, and your time is going to come. You know, so I'm excited. This was probably leaving our careers was probably the toughest decision I've ever made.
When you left, though, cool, like.
It was crazy. Look, like, y'all, I lie to y'all now. It was so crazy. I talked about this every day for at least 4 years.
I don't know about the 4. I was in it for 3. Every time he talked to me, you quit, bro? I'm like, golly, you know I haven't quit. Is it that time? He do that. This man is a manifester. I don't know if that's a word, if anybody can be a manifester. He talked about quitting his job so much. He pushed himself out before it was his. He had a whole nother plan.
Bro, I'm like, I got to do whatever it takes. I talked about, like, when I tell y'all, I used to watch the time. And that's what you got to be looking for. What can you be doing where you lose track of time? You know, when we doing this, I got to make sure I get home by a certain time to make sure stuff good because we're enjoying what we're doing. When I was at work, I was counting the seconds.
You was.
You look at the clock and you're at work, you like, it's only 9:15.
So, dude, like, God. Now we like, oh, my God, it's already dark.
You know what I'm saying? I used to be like, damn, my lunch break over already. I got to go back to work. And then you get it's only 3 o'clock.
Oh, that's crazy. And we quit around the same time. God, when I tell you things will line up the way you want it when it's your season, it will line up. Like, he was supposed to quit way before me. Yeah. We ended up quitting the same week or so, right? Or
it was a week or two apart. And it was completely different situations. Like, we had some things come up with childcare that happened and all kind of stuff that just made it the right moment. Because what I was trying to do is I was trying to take control. Let me tell y'all this. God don't like when you take control.
Oh, he don't. Let me look in the camera. I got to say it, repeat after you. I'm telling y'all one more time. He do not like when you take control. It's just you got to do it. You just keep working, right? And let him handle the rest. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, because I was like, my big thing, I was like, okay, I'm turning 30. I'm going to put my notice in on my 30th birthday. Like, yo, you know what?
He was excited.
It's my birthday. I quit. You know, I was going to give my job 3 months. First of all, who gives 3 months notice? I think I thought I was a good person, y'all. I was going to give my job 3 months notice.
He was helping them find somebody because he was felt so bad about. You got to think, first off, you a doctor. Let's talk about I was a teacher. No, you were making crazy amount of money.
Yeah. I was stressing this decision. And what ended up happening was some things happened. And I'm like, yo, I might as well do it now. And next thing you know, I found myself sending my boss a meeting saying, I need to meet with you tomorrow.
You were so nervous.
Y'all, it was crazy. And it was emotional. I had been waiting on this moment for so long. And me and my boss, I don't even he might watch this, so I ain't going to say nothing crazy. But, you know, we bump heads a little bit.
Like you do with most bosses. Because me and my boss literally probably ran into each other full speed the week I quit. Like,
yeah.
And
so, I mean, we done had our issues. Tell me why this man cried. That joke made me hurt. I was choked up. I said, I don't even like this job like that. But, you know, when you giving everything you got in a season, like, because for me, it wasn't a job. It was years of consistency. It was years of sacrifice. It was years where I saw people having fun and I went to college. It was years when people were starting their families and I went to grad school. It was just like, it was bigger than a job. It was like, I have been committed to this career, to schooling, to this structure for so long. Am I really going to let it go? And that's what it was. It was just like overwhelming. But it happened. And it flew. And the time has flown.
I feel like we just did it 2 weeks ago. Like
the days have gone by. So it's definitely been a blessing.
Yeah, it's like since when you do it when it's the right timing, things will just start happening for you. Like you don't have to things will just happen. Like you don't know how it's coming, you don't know what happened, how it happened. It just start happening for you.
Yeah. So I encourage you guys, keep going hard. Like your season is gonna come.
It's coming, y'all. Listen, I'm not making this up. Your season is coming. You just gotta keep going. It may not be when your cousin's season come or your brother, your sister. Don't worry about everybody. I don't look at who's ahead of me. I don't worry about nobody else. Your time is gonna come. I think a lot of times we find ourselves discouraged. How did they make it? I've been doing this for years. No, trust me. Your time is coming. It is. Like, just wait. Just be consistent and keep going. And stop worrying about other people and what other people doing. You keep doing what you're doing, and when your season comes, woo, it's gonna be a happy day.
it really is.
It's gonna be a happy day.
It's crazy because I remember people saying, if you find what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That's a lie. That's a lie. And I thought it was a lie then. But the reason I thought it was a lie is because I thought life was bigger than passion. I thought, what you cared about didn't really matter, And I used to always prioritize, like, security. Like, I got, I have a standard of living. This is what I want. part of me being a pharmacist was I knew how much they got paid. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want, if I enjoyed basket weaving, I wasn't about to be no basket weaver. You know what I'm saying? When I was in college and they're like, what you want to be? I was like, what kind of job can I get?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like, you think like, okay, yes, if my dream was like you said, basketball, whatever that is, you're saying that that's still not the way you're supposed to go. You got to go where, like, you got to go.
No. That's how I used to think. I used to think that passion wasn't enough. And so I used logic to put me in this great career, right? And now being able to reflect, I realized that you can be successful at what you're passionate about. But I think the quote is a lie because it's still a lot of work. Just because you're passionate don't mean you're going to. I feel like we've worked harder
now than we did when we was at the. But it's fun. But I'm enjoying it. But we work hard every it's
every day. Like
every
we on
day.
the time. I'm looking at the clock now because we got so much going on.
So much going on.
Like we got a film coming up. We meeting live in Atlanta tomorrow to go over the script.
And mind you, I'm flying back in. So when I touch down tomorrow, I'm literally about to go and get ready to do rehearse for this Brenton Christmas that's coming out, and I'm excited. Y'all be on the lookout for this. This is gonna be great, man. This, when I tell you it's gonna be great, I'm telling y'all gonna have to watch this. But when I land tomorrow, that's what I'm doing. So we're constantly working. I'm up every morning, 6 o'clock. 6 to 7 o'clock. And if I don't get up, this one gonna call me to wake me up like every morning you do, but we up and working.
Bro, it's the consistency though. And that's the thing. I think we complained for so long that the thing that we were lacking was time. Right? And so now God has gifted us with more time. We have to be a steward of it. You know? And so you gotta ask yourself, is the thing that I'm pursuing, is time the thing stopping me from getting it? Right? Is that the reason you don't have your dream? Because you don't have enough time? Like, if you had more time. And I think the pandemic exposed a lot of people. Because the pandemic gave people 1-2 years, they do nothing with it.
And then pandemic gave a lot of money, too. Pandemic made you not want to work, like.
Bro, the pandemic shook up the world.
It did.
That made everybody say, do I want this job?
It really did.
Working from home. People working from home, I don't think they'll ever go back to work.
No. If they told them they had to go back in the building, they'll say bump it.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. I think the pandemic, for me, it helped me see the same thing, made me think about what's important. You know, we got to spend more time with our families, but we saw how fragile jobs can be. We saw how hard it could be out here. So it's like, why not dream? Yeah.
I think for the pandemic, for me, because I was a police officer, I still had to go to work. Pandemic, don't get me wrong, it was good, but like as a police officer, that's why I'm so happy. Like, just keep doing it. Like, listen, your season. Like, I was at that job during the pandemic, working, literally. So I'm so thankful to be where I'm at. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for this purpose. Cause that policing and all, doing stuff you don't supposed to be doing is like, it would drive you crazy. I still think about it. Like, I just thank God. I'm so thankful that I found my purpose.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're working on your purpose, it'll give you the energy to sustain the job you don't love. Because it was hard doing what we didn't like doing, but at night, in the mornings, on lunch breaks, sometimes during work, on the weekends, we were doing the things we loved, and that gave us the energy to keep going.
I would go to the work. I did a skit at the jail.
No, the toilet paper pandemic skit.
Pandemic skit. I was there. Why not? If I'm gonna be here during a pandemic, I need my supervisor was in the video. Like, you gotta just use what you got to get.
Use what you got.
Cause you're gonna quit anyway. Like, what you tell me? You say you're gonna quit anyway. Use
the opportunity and realize, but slow down enough to realize the gift in the job. Because I think a lot of times we feel like God is cursing us for having us in a certain season, but literally we can look and see how our jobs graced us to this point. Like, whether it's being able to invest,
meeting somebody,
doing skits,
buying that house that you wanted.
Like, I've shot so many pharmacists' weddings.
Oh, you sure have.
It's like all of it was for a reason.
And the colleges that you do, not no small colleges like I went to, but we're talking about UNC. You do photography for them. Photography.
So that's the blessing I've done. Working for every university that I've attended, they now pay me.
And still call you Dr. Darren Lewis. Oh, I feel like I'm with a star.
Yeah. So it's, bro, y'all season is coming. We're excited. We're excited to share where we've gotten to. We hope that if that is your desire and then that's what you want, that God will give you the ability, the opportunity to take advantage of a season like that. But if you're not in that season yet, do not get weary.
Don't. I'm telling you.
Keep going.
You look, I done cried in the car a bunch of times, but I didn't give up. I done did so much. Like, you gonna cry. You gonna want to feel like you want to give up. But that's the beauty of it, because then you can look back and say, I went through so much. You're going to appreciate how far you get if it like that. Like, I look back now and be like, oh, my God. It makes me even more happy. Like, I went through so much. Like, I done been broke trying to invest in my dream. I done did this, but when you get to where you need to be, you appreciate all of that. Like, it means so much more. Like, a person like, when you from the bottom, you appreciate it when you get, it's like, I appreciate it. I appreciate that rough part that I went through, because it helps me remain humble.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Don't let us fool you. When we was going through it, I don't think we were, like, excited about it. Like, when I was at work, y'all, I hated like, my friends can tell you now, that's all if I called your phone, I was calling you to tell you that ain't like my job. In some way or shape or form, I'm like, yo, I'm tired of this job.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it wasn't until after, like, looking back and say, wow, God, this is what you did, that I really realized that, like, that was one of the biggest parts of me even getting to this season.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you find yourself like, why this God? Or why not me? Why haven't I made it? Just look around and take inventory and ask yourself, what can I learn from where I'm at? What resources can I use? You know what I'm saying? Whether or not, if you doing comedy, you could do comedy anywhere. I know we got a lot of comedians that follow us. You could do comedy anywhere.
I was in a church. Remember, one of my second shows was for a church group.
Yeah, and I mean, even at your job, don't hurt yourself at work. But any job is funny. Work is funny.
It is. I came to a point, I just went to work to be a comedian. Let me go make these people. And a lot of people, like, when you living in your purpose and you enjoy what you're doing, like, even the people at your job, like when you say your boss cried, they still appreciate your dream. Like, they appreciate that. I know when Amber come to work, that she at least gonna make us laugh. So when you leave, they're gonna feel that, but they're gonna be happy for you at the same time when you living in your purpose. Like you said, your boss cried and y'all bump heads.
Yep.
When it come to your purpose, everybody can feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody feel it. And that's the thing. Outside, everybody else at my job, I told, was so excited that I actually was chasing my dream. Because so many people never do. You know? Like, because by the time I quit, I told y'all, we did it at a good season. I had already got the studio. I had already had the buildings. So when I put in my notice, I sent a photo of my ribbon cut. I'm like, there's no negotiation.
You was honest with them. This is what I'm doing. I'm not fake. Hey.
Everybody wanted to know, well, who you going to work for? Nobody.
They were like, how you going to provide? How you going to... Listen.
I am not quitting this job. I am quitting jobs. No more jobs.
No more. And then a lot of times I think people quit and plan to go back. I don't plan to go back. You know what I'm saying? Like when that's why when you do it, it needs to be at the right time, because you'll end up going back. You know?
Yeah, and that's painful. I remember, like I think it was Eric Thomas was saying, being poor isn't the worst thing. It's being rich and then becoming poor again. You know what I'm saying? So,
that hurt.
Like, y'all, we gonna be grinding. We gonna share this journey with y'all, but we don't hope to ever go back.
I don't hope that. I don't know what life gonna take. I'm not hoping to go back. I think I go back. No, just don't say that.
Yeah,
don't say that.
And I think a lot of people get caught up in their plan B. Plan Bs take a lot of energy.
If this don't happen, I'm working on this just in case. Don't do that. Just go hard at full force at your gift.
Full force. Take advantage of the season you in. Go crazy, and I think it'll work out.
It will.
So what you got going on? I know we got the film coming up. How is life post working? How's that been going for you?
It's been going good, man. I got time. I shoot. Like I said, I'm always working. Got comedy shows coming up. I remember the times that I would write people and beg them to get on the show, and now they're calling me. So, and sometimes now I have to turn down shows. I be so busy. So, it's just a blessing. So, that's why I say when you do it, when you quit, when it's your time to quit, things will start flowing. Like now, I used to beg people to book me. Now people call me. And so now sometimes I'm so busy that I may have to say no.
Yeah. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen for y'all. So if y'all listening, tell us in the comments, what is one thing that you're believing God to do for you?
Mm-hmm.
I know we're coming up. It's December. We're coming up on a new year. And some people listening may have given up on their dreams. So we in our 30s.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be 33. I feel like after a while I'm going to be a senior citizen. So I'm trying to go before I can.
You know what I'm saying? So we ain't got no. And I think that was the turning point for me, at least, when I realized I do have the rest of my life to go back.
Mm-hmm.
So why not now? Why not now? Why not jump now? Chase my dreams, you know? And so we put in a lot of work, and we got to the point where it made sense, but I was still scared. I was like, but I still make this X amount of dollars. I don't want to give this up. And I think God spoke to me and said, you know, I really feel like you don't believe that I can take care of you. And the crazy part about it, I was making the money in my dream that I was making in my job. It was just, I was stuck. I was struggling because I've been doing the right thing, the responsible thing for so long. But eventually.
So do you think, like, sometimes that's why it be a hold up, like if God have gave you all the resources and you ignore it. Like you said, I'm making the same amount of money now, I'm making my job, I'm still scared. Do you think like you can be held back because of that? Like he giving it to you now. Like with me, he gave me all the resources, still like I can't do it. My insurance and all that, but God like I'm giving you this now, you can do it. And I think we hold back. Do you think that can hold you back? Like sometimes put on pause was waiting for you on that? Yeah. On the end of the road, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think a lot of times we want control. We want it done our way. You know, I want to have 3 kids first. I want my kids to graduate from high school. I want to pay off my student loans. I want to buy a house first. And for everybody, the season is different. You know? And as crazy as it sounds, not to say that people shouldn't buy houses, but for some person, you know, that might be your biggest dream. Maybe you never lived in a steady home and like you want to buy a house, but like maybe that house is something that God don't want you to have yet. And that's keeping you from your dream. Or maybe, you know, it could be anything. For me, student loans was a huge thing. I'm like, God, I'm going to pay off my student loans first. And it was like, I was trying to do it my way. And God is like, you know, you see the picture of the Jesus and the teddy bear with the little girl, and he's like, give me that. And she's like, no, I love it so much. And he's like, I got something better for you. I think a lot of times we can get caught up in our own way. And we can get in our own way. And so we just sometimes have to trust God. And that's a choice. Trusting God is a choice. It's not about evidence. Because sometimes like, I had the proof. I had a studio. I was going to work every day.
With this studio, like with this
there were
huge
cobwebs.
studio.
There was cobwebs. I would walk in the studio, spiders on my face, because I was going to work, building somebody else's dream. And God is like, bro, there's nothing else I can show you. You just gotta trust me. And I think even though it took me a while, I think it was a good place because it's like now I can really depend on God and know like this was what I was supposed to do. And He literally gifted me with everything I needed to be successful.
I think that too. I also think when you do that, when you're doing that, and when you're getting closer to where you're supposed to be doing, one thing that really have bothered me in this whole thing is like people that you think supposed to be with you, they start falling off, and you're like, I thought you told me this was my time, God. Like, why are the people that I love is acting this? That would almost make you want to give up too. It makes you sad because those are your loved ones. So it's like.
Yeah, I think that was probably been one of our biggest challenges is realizing that every person shouldn't go to every season. And I think it hurts.
It hurts so bad. That's what I've been going. I will say that. I think that's been a thing that been weighing on me so bad since my season been changing. And it's like, that's one thing that have been weighing on me. Like,
Yeah.
It put you in a place that you because you want it to be. You tell them, no, look what's going on. Look around. Things are changing. And it's still like, I don't care. I don't see it. I don't. And that right there will hurt you to like.
Yeah. And it will hold you hostage. If you don't learn to let go of some people, it will literally leave you in the same place. You know, it's like being on a flight. You can take baggage with you, but realize the more baggage you take, the more it's gonna cost.
You better preach, brother. You sure preaching ain't it for you. God, Lee, say that one more time. Look,
you can take baggage, but the more baggage you take, the more it's gonna cost.
Ooh, hallelujah.
And I think we get caught up trying to take everybody with us. And you want it for the right reason, but God is saying, look, where I'm taking you, this isn't where they're supposed to be. And we just got to accept it. And the crazy part about, there may be somebody waiting, right? There may be somebody God is preparing to take us to another level, but we're too busy occupying people. That was from our last season. So it's just something to think about. And it's not that easy. I made it sound sweet. It sound cool. It sound nice.
It's definitely not easy.
But it's painful, bro. It's painful because you want people to believe in you and to believe in your vision and believe in what you're doing, but everybody just don't. Some people can't see it. God gave it to us, and some people, we trying to show it to the people around us, and everybody just can't see it.
That's one. I would say that it's almost can be a burden, but once you learn how to, you can't worry about that and keep going, you'll be good. But I'm glad you said that though. That was especially
Yeah. And that's the thing. People will remember who you were. And I think that's what we're changing. These last probably 5 years have been like remarkable change in our lives. And I think people are attached to who we were. And they're like, no, this is who you are. This is who I'm used to. And we're trying to tell y'all
no.
It's changed a lot. Yeah. And it's like, if y'all don't jump on board, you're going to miss out. And we don't want people to miss out, but
that's just how it is.
They got to keep going. The train got to keep going.
But yeah, this is it.
This is it. This journey is crazy. So we just quit our jobs, y'all. And we got a lot.
Still got a long way to go.
Long way to go.
Hey, long way to go. I don't want y'all to we're still on the rise. Still up and coming. Still on the rise.
Still grinding.
Every day.
Every day. So hopefully we can continue to take y'all on this journey with us. We can continue, because we have more time, we can do things like podcasts and take you on the journey. So y'all just stay locked in with us. Continue to support us. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all on the next one.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, follow me. Follow Daryl. Funny Brenton on all platforms.
Optical Illusions everywhere.
So if you just not watching us and following us, y'all come on to this journey. It's going to be a fun ride. So thank y'all.
All right, we out. Peace.
I've been thinking a lot about everything we've been dreaming. Will we ever make it out of this season? Where we seem like we're defeated and we taking beatings and life keeps repeating. So I get on my knees to pray and ask the Lord why. Would you give us all these gifts and then hang them out to dry? I would think that you would only want the best for us, but everything is at its worst and we can't take no more. Let's do this. It's time to start.